Alright, how's everyone doing? Welcome to From Z to A, Alphabetical Interviews with Zach Anderson. I am Zach Anderson. Today we are here at Sage Sound Studios for the 34th edition of Monsters of Acoustic Rock, and I am joined by Erick Northrop.
What's going on, everybody?
So thank you so much for being on the show.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
So I'm going to ask you the difficult questions as long as it has something to do with the letters of your name. So we'll start with E. What is something that's essential for you to do to get ready for a gig? Do you have any pre-show rituals?
I do. I pretty much like to be in a good mood before I perform. If I'm in any kind of mood that's not communicable, that's positive, it'll drain the whole energy out of the whole afternoon. And so what I do is I usually either listen to stand-up comedy on my car on the drive here or watch it. I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy or anything that makes me laugh.
Right.
Anything that gets my levity up so I can have the wherewithal to perform positively.
Do you have a go-to stand-up comedian or favorite?
Right this minute, I'm really I got re-obsessed with Patton Oswalt.
Okay.
It's just the way he talks.
Yeah.
It's so down to earth and funny. It makes me laugh. So.
Excellent. So last year you released an EP.
Yes, I did.
Tell me about it.
Well, it's called Hole in the Wall, and it's been a passion project of mine since I was a young tot.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to release an album, and I was finally able to find a genre and a niche that worked for me because I was in the heavy metal community.
All right.
And it was a big transition to go from being just trying to be as loud and fast and as aggressive as possible to really writing about things that meant something to me. This album has a song about my father who has passed away, and the love of my life, the current significant other I'm with at the moment. It could be directed towards yours or hers or whomever you're attached to, and it's a lot of vulnerability, pain, and there's peppiness. You know, there's a good couple of rock songs on there. It's a culmination of everything that I am stylistically and musically. There's some hard, heavier kind of deal, and then there's some light, pensive acoustic stuff. So it was a good passion project for me to finally come to fruition last summer. In June, I was fortunate enough to release it at the Space, and I had an amazing turnout and an amazing time, and it's been streaming quite steadily, and I'm very proud of it, and I'm hoping everyone, if you wanted to listen to it, it's on all the streaming platforms, so go pick up a copy, Hole in the Wall.
There you go, yeah. No, I haven't listened to it. It's been really, I've been really enjoying it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Now, who would you say are your biggest musical influences or inspirations?
Right off the top, October 1997, I was given my first rock and roll CD, which is Aerosmith's 9 Lives.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since then, I said, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do it all the time. And I'm going to I hope to do it better. No offense to those guys, I can never top them, but I've always wanted to be in the same universe. Yeah. So, Aerosmith, huge guys for me. As my musical tastes evolved to where I could start picking and choosing, because that was my stepfather's CD collection. I just sort of dove in and whatever he was into. When I got older into high school, I started hanging around other guys who were into the different metal stuff. It was Metallica, Megadeth, the big four from the 80s, early 90s, which was huge for me. Johnny Cash and Elvis Presley and CCR and Bob Seger, and God, there's a whole list of those guys, the barroom guys, and I gotta have them at least somewhere in my record collection, in my iPod, whatever you want to call it. But right off the top, I'd have to say Aerosmith.
Nice. All right. Now, how do you go about choosing songs for a set list? Do you tend to meticulously plan it out ahead of time, or make it up on the fly, change things up depending on how people react to certain songs?
Well, I started primarily gigging live as a cover artist, going into bars and clubs doing 3.5 to 4 hour long sets of cover songs, and peppered in some of my own original stuff. When I started playing live, I didn't have original stuff, so I had to literally fill time in between the one song I was working on, and then so I usually just do a pretty simple. It's a mantra I think everybody should look into. It's called reading the room. It's pretty simple. You walk in, you see a bunch of 40-somethings. You don't choose modern top 40 pop songs. Yeah. It's just, there's nothing against it. It's just, this is not the place to display that kind of music. So you pick and choose. You know your audience. You know exactly who you're walking into. You walk around. You greet everybody, and you go, oh man, this guy's not going to go for a cover of Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise. It's just not going to happen.
That would be pretty great, though.
But exactly, it is pretty great. I enjoyed playing that song very much. It was a huge hit when I was a kid, and when you walk around, you greet people, and they go, I love that song. I love some 90s R&B. You go, okay, I'll throw that one on. I have a list of hundreds or so songs that I can choose from, and you just pick and choose.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's on the fly. If I'm in the audience and I'm playing a real pensive ballad, and I see people playing pool and laughing and having a great time, I know that the next one probably isn't going to be a downer. You just pick and choose. As far as my original stuff, there's a different pool of songs to choose from. I just sort of throw it all in there and kind of hope that something sticks to the wall. I haven't had too much field time playing my own music originally. I haven't had an original showcase in quite a while.
Okay.
So we'll see. I've read the room thus far, and we're all having a good time, so it doesn't really seem to matter which I choose tonight, so we're going to stick and see what we can do.
Well, looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, what would you say is like a key element for you personally in order to put on the best show possible?
Well, like I said earlier, it goes back to the first question. I need to be in a good mood.
Yep.
Having some brevity on stage and being able to tell jokes and have banter and laugh and have a good time. It's supposed to feel like a party.
Yeah.
I wear my smile. I'm not afraid to take that heavy metal element of the aggression and the showmanship, but then we're at a country rock show.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do some country rock and mule music, and that's some fun times. It's not always Debbie Downer type stuff, so I have to be in a good mood, and this is gonna come as a surprise to most. It's the most simple answer: sobriety. I do not drink heavily. I'll have a few beers to loosen up, but it's by far not a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
And when I am feeling that that was one too many, I know that I'm going to start slipping, and it's water from there.
Yeah.
I just don't want to put a fog screen in between myself and the music and the people. So there's got to be that happen. So sobriety is huge for me. I don't smoke anything or take anything. Occasionally I'll be having a good time to the point where I forgot. I stop keeping count, So sobriety is a big thing. In order to put on the best show possible, I need to be in the right head. So it might be something I get rid of completely as I get older. Who knows? You never know. The older you get, the less you can tolerate. So
right.
I like to have a few cold ones. I'm not gonna lie, country boy from New England. I like a couple cold ones, but that's what I gotta have.
Awesome.
Fortunately. Yeah.
Right.
Could be a lot worse.
Right. So I like to end all my interviews with 3 interesting or random facts about yourself that many people might not know.
Well, are you familiar with that incredibly popular at the time, but probably very obscure rap song now, "Informer" by the guy Snow?
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, early '90s was a great time.
Mm-hmm.
This guy Snow, he's from Canada, Toronto, and he did this very watered down Jamaican rap song. It's incredibly impossible to understand.
Yep.
I've been doing karaoke. That's how I got started singing. I used to be just a strict guitar player. So when I started singing, I just was doing karaoke nightly, and I had learned that song somehow, inexplicably stuck in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I just did it one day at karaoke, and then people were like, "Dude, you gotta play that song. You gotta sing it." And I've been doing it quite steadily for about 10 years now.
Wow.
So, a fun fact, I know every word, and I can do it quite well, and I even know it live. I play it in my own set now.
That's impressive.
when it fits. But that's a weird thing you wouldn't expect out of someone like me. So. Another fact is I'm a huge fan of chick flicks.
Okay.
I don't hate them. It's weird. I don't have a problem with my wonderful girlfriend. She always introduces these movies to me like, it'll be cute, and I don't want to sound like a hack by saying ugh, because I'm an open mind when it comes to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I sit down, and of course 15 minutes later, or anime, something romantic, I'm like, I don't want to watch 2 cartoon people fall in love. I really don't. And then 5 episodes later, I'm like, if these 2 don't get together,
Exactly.
I'm gonna kill myself. Yep. So that's an interesting fact that I do. I'm getting into anime and Doctor Who and all those nerdy things from 30 years ago that I never thought I would ever sit down and actually listen to. So that's his interest. And I used to be in heavy metal. That's an odd fact, but that's part of my brand. That's where I came from. So that's something I don't hide. The anime stuff, I've actually never even told anybody I enjoy that stuff. So
I do too, so it's all good.
Most people but me. And then they go, "Did you see the?" And I had to go, I don't watch that crap. And then now I'm engaging in conversations that I thought I would never be in 10 years ago. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a little tidbit that it's fairly new for me. So it's a new tidbit for everyone else
There you
too.
go.
So Yep.
All right, well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me on the show.
If you want to check out Erick Northrop, please visit the link below, and now we'll cut to a performance from Erick. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
Just dive into the unknown, dive and give it a try. Put your time in like the river cuts the stone. Put your wings against the wind and rise. If you're persistent, you will find your key. Always the last one to open the lock. Never too late to reinvent yourself. Gather your strength and push against the clock. Just dive into the unknown. Dive and give it a try. Put your time in like the river cuts the stone. Put your wings against the wind and rise. I'll be right here against the crowd. I'll raise my voice, I'll sing it loud. Life is mine if I choose. Imagine what I could win if I couldn't lose. Just dive into the unknown, dive in and give it a try. Put your time in like the river cuts the stone. Just dive in and give it a try. Put your time in like the river cuts the stone. Put your wings against the wind and rise. Put your wings against the wind and rise. Put your wings against the wind and rise. Thank you.